Welcome to Put a Word on It, a podcast presented by Men of Valor. In each episode, we're going to talk with a different man, but each one with a unique journey from brokenness to freedom. I'm your host, Rudy Kalis. I spent over 40 years as a TV sportscaster, then retired and joined the Men of Valor program as a volunteer. So join the conversation. Reconciling men to God, their families, and society. Welcome to another edition of Put a Word on It, brought to you by Core Civic. We thank them so much for their strong support. This is going to be a lot of fun. It was for me. 2 years ago, we interviewed Thomas Powell. He'd spent 32 years on a murder charge in prison, came out, life changed. We wanted to know what has happened. That was 3 years ago that he came out, came to Men of Valor. We talked to him 2 years ago, but these last 2 years have been powerful and his life is changing, and all that's happened to him is worth listening to again. Here is Thomas Powell. Thomas, it's good to see you again, my friend.
Yes.
3 years that you've been out now.
Yes.
What's changed?
Well, I left the ridge and got married, bought a house, working. It's just, it's life.
Is that old? You spent 32 years. Is that way back there in the past now? Or what did you learn from those 32 years that maybe has become a part of you now?
I seriously think about certain things now, and I ask myself, if I do this, if it go bad, where would I end up? And that's been kind of like my whole thing. It's like I work 2 jobs. I work 7 days a week so I can stay busy, so I can stay out of the way.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that there's a little part of you that battles about that old life, afraid it might come back?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I stay busy. It's gonna continue. I think that it's gonna continue to always be a battle. But it's like when I keep God first and I always think and contemplate things before I do them now. So it's like, if I do this, where would I end up? And so when I work and when I look at the end result of me working, and I'm saying I can't lose this, they can't come and take this from me. If things go wrong, then I still, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because if I was doing something wrong and it go bad and I get caught, I lose everything. But me doing the right thing, it's not gonna go bad.
Do you do the right thing because you want to do the right thing or because of the fear?
Kind of somewhat both. That fear is there, but I want to do the right thing because I see the end result of it. The fear is if it goes wrong, then I'm end up, ain't no telling where it might end up. So, and that's why I always keep God first. And I continue to, and I look at the end results.
You were a young man when you made a terrible mistake. 32 years in prison. I'm sure there were family members. Some of them didn't want anything to do with you. I mean, you've had to patch up family relationships, haven't you? How has that gone?
It's going pretty good. It's kind of like when I read certain things in the Bible and I study, because I still read a lot of the Bible sometimes when I go to work and I get there early or whatever, then I contemplate on scriptures. So I read certain things. It's just like a lot of people in your life not going to continue to be in your life. Sometimes in life you got to cut certain people off. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and if there's certain people in my life is not, when I see what they own, If they not doing the right thing or doing the same thing that I'm on, then I cut them off. Because I think that if I invite that into my life, then it'll be my downfall. You know, certain things happen even when I was here on the ridge. My brother, I love him, but I deal with him from a distance. You know, it's, you know, anything that's not helpful in keeping me staying free, and there's a chance that I might get caught messing around with you, then I'm not finna mess with you. And that's my whole thing on how I'm living right now.
But the ones that you love, that you want to draw back to you, the ones that you want to show that you're a new, changed, different man, how important is consistency in that?
It's very rewarding when I talk to my nieces and my nephew and them, and they tell me that they proud of me.
Oh,
You know, the things that I done since I've been out. They say they just think that, you know, that I'm a stand-up guy, that I learned from my mistakes, and I'm not trying to repeat them. So they tell me all the time when I talk to them that they proud of me.
you met your wife, Nisi, at first. I'm sure you were open and honest with her.
Yes.
What did she say about that? And why do you think she was willing to say yes when you asked her?
You know, when we first met, I told her, you know, that I had just got out, and, you know, this is what I've been doing, and she's been seeing some consistency in the things that I've been doing. So when I asked her, she said yes.
That makes you even more determined now, doesn't it, to live up to that man that you're talking about?
Yep.
You want to be that man.
Yeah.
I love it. No fear anymore of really going back. You're just being really aware of what you're supposed to do. Somehow people think God does it all, but we have to have some discipline within ourselves too, don't we? Isn't it a partnership?
Yeah. It's like I tell people all the time. I say, when you want to talk to God, you pray. When you want God to talk to you, you read the scripture. You see, so he gonna tell you what he wants you to do through the scripture. So, and your spirit will receive the word and act accordingly to that you receive.
Is there any way you look back at those 32 years and what you went through and say, I almost needed that to bring me to the point of changing my life and breaking my life down?
Somewhat. I think that for every wrong that you do, you'll be punished. And some of the things that we do, we'll ask God to, if you get me out of this, I won't do it again. If you let me live, I won't do it again. And then no sooner as he gets you out of it, you go right back and do it. And then you end up getting punished again. I think that for a lot of the stuff that I got away with, I ended up paying in the long run.
You know, the people you affected in that old life, do you think about that? And how hard was it to realize that God forgave you? And do you believe he's forgiven you?
I believe he's forgiven me because of the things that he is awarding me now.
Explain that.
I'm getting my family back. You know, all my sisters, my nieces, my nephews. He blessed me with a beautiful wife. You know, a house, vehicle, motorcycles. So I'm like, you know, I think that as long as I stay faithful.
That's it. So, you know, we talked 2 years ago. Asked you then. The name of our program is Put a Word on It. Have you got a word for me this time?
Thankful. I'm thankful for the second chance.
He is a loving God, isn't he?
Yes.
I don't think there are times when people don't realize how much he loves us. But you found that out.
Yeah.
Thomas, you've got a great smile. You've got a wonderful, God's given you a new chance in life and you're making the best of it. I'm so proud of you, my friend.
It wouldn't have happened. I don't think that my life would have been as good as it is now without Men of Valor. Because when I came, I had this aspiration of what God and who God was. So when I came, I was like, okay, I'm gonna empty out my heart and I'm gonna learn what it is. It's about this God that they call Jesus. So in everything that I was taught, because I say that's what it was, and then I started watching some of the staff around and I said, I want what they got. So I started, and that's how I ended up and stayed consistent.
Let me tell you what, there are now people looking at you and saying, I want what he's got. You've got something special, my friend. I love the word that Thomas used, and that being thankful, because he is so thankful. It really is important to talk about reconciliation with his family. I have a lot of guys that we work with who want their families to know, I'm a new man, I'm changed. Consistency was such a key in his life as well. Of course he's thankful, now with a wife, with a job, and his family's coming back. Such a joy. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next time as we put a word on it.